There's been a lot of scrutiny on the election and the security of it. Well, making headlines this week, reports that, some states do allow ballots to be counted by people who have then since died.
Yeah, this would be something that would typically seem like a very strange thing to dig into, but there is concern because we are in a pandemic year, because there is early voting. Many American families are wondering if their loved ones' votes, who may have already been cast, would be counted if they were to pass away before Election Day. So to help clear up some misconceptions about that and many topics related to dead ballots, we want to talk to Clackamas County Clerk Sherry Hall this morning. She joins us live via Zoom. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So let's take a look specifically at the rules in Oregon. What are the rules for this state?
For which piece?
For anything concerning dead ballots, if someone were to vote, were to send in their ballot and then subsequently pass away, is that vote being counted?
Well, the ballots go out about 18 days before Election Day. And so if somebody votes their ballot, of course, while they're alive and mails it in or drops it by, it will be counted if they die before Election Day. If a ballot gets to a household where it's addressed to someone who has passed away, the other person at the house can just cross through that name and address and put deceased, and then drop it back in the mail and it will be returned to us. And then that's our notification.
Okay, I would assume this isn't terribly common, but what are the penalties if someone does get that ballot, maybe their spouse or their relative has already passed away and they decide to vote? I don't know how hard that is to track,
You mean if someone else votes a ballot for another person?
Right.
Well, first of all, the signature has to match. If the signature doesn't match, we would send a letter and they would have to cure that signature within 14 days. This is all very challenge based. So someone would have to challenge the fact that someone who is deceased voted a ballot, and then it would be investigated. But we wouldn't know otherwise.
Okay.
If the signature doesn't match, we would definitely send that letter out. But I would hope that it wouldn't be counted. But it's all challenge based.
I know it's all kind of a sticky, morbid kind of area, that we wouldn't typically, I think, focus on. But of course, there's been more focus on situations like this because we are living through a pandemic right now. 220,000 Americans, have died this year, and there's been so much scrutiny on if ballots are being cast illegally. Has this been a widespread problem? Is there any evidence that people are casting ballots in Oregon on behalf of people who've already died?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Well, if anyone, thinks someone they know maybe has broken the law, what are the steps someone should take to make sure that it's at least investigated?
Okay, they would need to write a letter and sign it. An email doesn't work, but the state elections division is the one who investigates all of those things. That letter of complaint can be mailed to us and we would forward it to the Secretary of State, or it can be mailed directly to the Secretary of State. But it does need to have the signature of the one complaining.
So this topic aside, if we look just kind of at the election generally, I know we're already seeing historic numbers of ballots coming in. How have things been going so far in Clackamas County? What are you tracking in the days up to the election here?
Okay, well, we are very heavy turnout. We have already received about 30% of our ballots, and that compares to 2016, the same day in the election cycle, we got 12%. So 30% is really high, and we're really encouraged that the heavy voting will continue and it'll slow down towards the end. We do get ballots back that are returned as undeliverable, and if the post office has put the yellow sticker on with a new address, we will go ahead and mail a ballot to that new address. And we have done that with about 900 ballots, 990, almost 1,000 already. And we will continue to do that until October 29th, which means that's too late to do the mail. But we have voters who haven't changed their addresses. And so that's what we do with those that we get from the post office.
Yep, trying your best to get those ballots out to people. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're going to be very busy in the coming weeks. We appreciate your time.
And we love it. And thank you for keeping the news out in the community.
Yep, all right. Thank you. 7:00.